Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! First story. Teacher told me to remove my band-aids because they are unsightly, so I showed her unsightly. Preface. I'm not self-harming myself. I'm just a very clumsy person with a high pain tolerance who works with sharp objects. I also wear these bandages to keep me from scratching at them because I have no self-control. The story. I injure myself a lot. Falling downstairs, bumping into a wall, getting a face full of the door at work. I also have high pain tolerance, so most of my scrapes are just superficial and just look kinda gross. So I cover them with something. Band-aids, medical tape, a tissue and tape. And this is where our cumulative issues begin. My nervous habit is to pick at my nails, to the point that they will bleed. To counteract this, I put pieces of medical tape around my nails and fingers, so I almost constantly have tape around my fingers. I do Science Olympiad. This event requires me to cut pieces of wood with a saw or box cutter. And not being the master of fine motor skills, I do eventually slip up, so I slap another band-aid on that. Finally, I do theater. The scenes we do are kinda rough. I'm in multiple fight scenes, and we do it on crappy office carpet, so many carpet burns on elbows and knees. A few months ago, we switched schedules and I had to go to my Bible class. Now, this teacher is in no way the best, but she's tolerable. So we have little old me walking into class with at least 5 or 10 band-aids. Still on nerve from a presentation before and now getting stares from the teacher. My classmates were chill with all the band-aids at this point and there are no additional issues. While we are doing the worksheet, the teacher comes over and says, "May we talk after class?" And my obedient little self says, "Sure." We get to after class and she tells me that my band-aids are disturbing. I told her that I could change to skin tone ones. These were bright colors. She says no. This dent carrot tells me they are unsightly and that I shouldn't hurt myself. I sigh and agree to stop wearing band-aids just to please this stale turnip. The next day rolls around, showing up to school with some scabby fingers, strawberry knees and some scratches on my arm. Personally, I'm fine with blood and ink, but even this was kinda unsightly. Walking into class extra early just to see the horrified look on the Sour Pete's face is lovely. My knees started to bleed a little from the constant movement. She pulled me aside again after class and said I could continue using my band-aids. People should really stop getting into other people's business. Next story. Entitled Parking Gets a Late Night Wake-Up Call. Back when I was in college, I had a job as a night receptionist/security for the dorm I lived in. Easy job. Check IDs of folks coming in to ensure they were residents or have them call a resident to have them escorted to their room. I also walked the floors and parking lots every hour. In the parking lot was the usual motley assortment of student cars. The back row was filled with fancy cars, all parked at an angle, crossing 2 spots. Obviously, the rich jerks' cars. I had noted the illegal parking many times in my log, told the campus cops when they looped through and so on. Campus cops told me not to bother as the chief would just throw the tickets away because the parents would call and raise hell that their babies had to park that way to protect their cars. Most evenings a night owl, late night study folks, all-nighters, etc. would hang out in the lobby. anywhere from 3 to 12 or more on exam weeks. I trusted a couple of folks to cover the desk while I did my rounds. One night I've just settled down after a set of rounds. Pizza place had delivered my sub and 6-pack of Coke to get me through the long dull middle of my shift. Things are settling down and folks are starting to head for bed. So it's around 2:30 in the morning when we hear bang 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 coming from the lot. I and the remaining late night folks go out to see what's going on. Every single fancy car had been hit. The exposed fender having been bashed in. Someone said they saw an unknown junker hitting every one of them, backing up, then hitting the next car and so on, then taking off. More folks came pouring out of the door to see what had happened, including the rich jerks, who of course were yelling about the damage to their precious cars, yelling at me to call the campus cops. I was already starting back to the lobby to call the cops anyway. With them yelling at me, I just took my own sweet time. Cop shows up, takes pictures of the damage and how the cars are parked, then starts writing tickets for illegal parking, which of course set off the rich jerks again. Fully documenting the damage includes documenting the illegal parking, which means I must issue tickets. Between the photos of illegal parking sent to the insurance companies and the tickets, none of the insurance companies paid out, or so the rich jerks claimed for months afterward. From that day forward, no one parked at a slant taking up 2 spaces, and roughly half of the rich jerks' kids were never seen in a lot again. Next story. Get me a coffee or get out. Gotcha. Good luck with the inventory system. Backstory. I'm a retired IT guy who still kept tabs with his old workplace, simply because I really enjoyed working there and there was a solid mutual respect between the owners and the staff. So I basically told him that while I'm retired, I wouldn't mind lending a helping hand every once in a while should the need arise. However, do not overdo it. This year has turned into a weird year so far, but I can fully understand why they were having some issues, especially in this particular case. Anyway, I need to be a little careful with my write-up, but I also really need an outlet, so let's see. An ancient inventory system. Wednesday evening, I finally got home with enough free time to try the recently released update for GTA V. And just as I was being called in game, my real cell phone also goes off. It is my former boss who was very apologetic, but they had a major issue. One of their more specific clients called out for help because their automated inventory system had stopped working. They could cope. It wasn't an immediate emergency, but this was still a major problem because this was costing them big money. The main issue was that this particular client was still mostly using Windows XP, and we're still using our older automated inventory system, which was co-developed by yours truly. In Java, using NetBeans as the main interface. Make me some damn coffee, you. Nope. So today, Friday, time of writing, I dress up in a suit and head over there to see what I can do to identify and maybe fix the problem. I arrive around 1 p.m. No way in heck that I'm going to give up my morning sleep over this, and I'm greeted by the manager. We talked a bit about the whole situation and he explains to me that the main issue is that the XP server does not seem capable of contacting anything else on the network anymore. I get to work and see that the computer itself is still working, but it would seem that the network card has finally given out. This is a bit of an issue because modern cards do not provide Windows XP support, nor would they even fit anymore. The good part, however, is that we can still extract data from all of this. And while I'm looking over the small office, an idea dawns on me. Because I still had some more research and work to do, I figured I'd put in my earbuds and ask Pixabay. Samsung's personal digital assistant to my phone. I thought I'd ask her to call my office, all the while making sure that I had my phone on full display out in the open so that it would be obvious to anyone that I was on call, and not going insane talking to myself. It got even a bit funny when one of the friendly secretaries asked me if I wanted something to drink. So then I had to back switch a bit and try not to laugh when my colleague asked me in the background to tell her that he wouldn't mind a coffee himself. My plan was simple: extract all the customized macros we had made, and then maybe we could port all that onto one of our computer servers, allowing the client to use the whole platform through a web interface. The main concern would be to move the database, but we've been using PostgreSQL from the get-go, so I didn't see many issues there, leaving only the translation of the macros and some custom Java code towards C#. Sure, this would involve costs, but maybe we could sell this idea by allowing more people to access the interface. In the current situation, this was limited, a strict client-server setup. So here I was, in front of a somewhat disassembled computer, earbuds in and talking back and forth while my phone was lying on the table next to me. Context: I'm the only one wearing a suit around here, and I cannot help being certain that this is what started the whole thing. My talk with the boss had just ended, and I decided I'd keep my buds in for now. Also because I had a radio app still open on my phone, which responded the moment I touched my right bud. Note, I did make sure not to overdo it. It was background music at best. I could hear everything around me. Enters the entitled CEO. Next moment, someone also wearing a suit enters the room and he's immediately greeted by the manager, who also showed me around. It was also at this time when I found a USB stick which actually worked on this PC. Great. This will help to make a most recent update. So I fire up CMD and make sure the database is shut down. Once I'm sure, I start the copy process on the same command line environment. Then I suddenly hear it. "Hey you, support guy, get me a coffee." I look up and see the guy who looked to be in his 30s look at me with expectation. The manager, immediately seeming to realize what is going on, responds, "I'll get you a coffee right away, sir." But he stopped. "No, I want him to do it." The guy goes, "Sorry, can't help you. I'm busy and don't work here." I responded, "What? I said give me a coffee now." The guy retorts with an obvious smug look on his face. It was then when I knew this was not going to end well. And know what? I couldn't care less either. Not my job. Why not get it yourself? I respond while also starting to round a few things up. I was definitely going to push this, but I wasn't going to blow up the whole project over it either. As I expected, he says, "I'm your boss. When I say that I want you to make me a coffee, you make me a coffee, understand?" The idiot even slapped the table to get his point across. Okay then, game on. You're not my boss, so go get your damn coffee yourself. I tell him while also giving more priority to the CMD process in order to, hopefully, speed up the copy process a bit. The guy obviously did not appreciate someone talking back to him like this. The manager tried to intervene, but after a bit more talking back and forth, I was told, "I am the boss around here. You stupid idiot either give me a coffee or piss off and get the hell out of my company." Suits me just fine. Can I get your signature on that? That you demand me to leave? I ask while handing out my worksheet paper, and for sure, idiot. He tells me when signing. I immediately secured the document and packed up my stuff. Thank you, good luck with your broken inventory system, and have a great weekend. I tell him while I put on my coat. Wait, what? He goes. It's what I've been trying to explain. The manager goes. He's a contractor who is, at this time, I make my way towards the elevator. Well, was fixing our inventory system. The company told me he's the only one who still knows. The door to the office room closes and that was all I heard. I get onto the elevator and much to my surprise I'm met with a red out-of-press CEO who is looking very apologetic as soon as I exit. The moment I see him I tell him, "You'll have to make a new appointment." He starts down talking the whole thing without even bothering to say the magic word. Seriously, had he apologized then and there? But nope. So I reach the exit, turn around to face him and tell him once again, "Sorry, this idiot is going to do exactly what you wanted me to do. Not my problem that you're too stupid to make your own coffee." And with that, I left. Outside, I immediately called the boss who was in full support of my decision and action. I was a bit worried about that part to be honest, and he agreed. They can make a new appointment. An update to this story could be uploaded later. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.